There is no rivalry like Brady versus Manning, the two legendary quarterbacks who overwhelmed NFL defenses with their extraordinary passing proficiency and relentless competitive spirit went head-to-head 17 times. But their epic clashes were so much more than just wins and losses. Brady versus Manning was a damn near 2-decade-long battle to secure the ultimate legacy as the greatest to ever play the position. And it's crazy to think that their rivalry ever became what it did, considering when Brady and Manning entered the league, their careers were on very different paths.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning
you know, this is crazy because Bill Belichick just got snubbed for the first ballot Hall of Fame, which is disgusting. I don't want to get too much into it, but that was disgusting. Let me know how y'all feel about that Bill Belichick thing, bro. That was disgusting, bro. I don't give a fuck about no Spygate. I don't care about no gates, man.
drafted number 1 overall in the '98 draft.
The Indianapolis Colts select quarterback, University of Tennessee.
Instantly becoming the face of the Indianapolis Colts, a prodigy, destined for greatness. Then there's Tom Brady, a 6th-round draft pick out of Michigan, who started as the Patriots' 4th-string quarterback, with no indication he might ever become a starting play caller, let alone a Super Bowl MVP.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make the team, don't worry about that.
But in 2001, fate intervened. A sudden injury to New England quarterback Drew Bledsoe catapulted the inexperienced Brady into the spotlight.
In any unforeseen circumstances, Tom will be the quarterback.
Faced with making his first career start against none other than Peyton Manning and the undefeated Colts, it was a turning point that changed the course of the Patriots franchise forever.
I remember running out there on the field. You came up right to me, you said, "Hey, Tom, Peyton Manning." I was like, "No."
Even though the Pats were huge underdogs, the first showdown between the two future greats saw New England demolish the Colts, 44-13.
First start for Tom Brady, first win for Tom Brady.
With 2 of Peyton's 3 interceptions returned for touchdowns. Brady took a sack on his first play, but that wouldn't be a sign of things to come. Instead, he threw for 168 yards, and more importantly, kept the turnovers to 0. Showing Brady might make an okay seat filler until Bledsoe's return. 3 weeks later, the battlefield shifted from Foxborough to Indy, but the outcome stayed the same, with New England powering past Manning and the Colts 38-17. Patriot Nation was over the moon with how their young substitute QB appeared to step up his game, showing subtle hints of his eventual mastery of Belichick's intricate playbook, as Brady went 200 yards plus through the air, along with 3 touchdowns. The Colts finished 6-10, and quickly showed Jim Mora the door.
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, that guy. But there was no kidding around about New England's playoff run. Brady, now officially the starter, caught lightning in a bottle, knocking off the Raiders and Steelers on his way to a Super Bowl 36 showdown against Kurt Warner and the 14-point favorite St. Louis Rams. But the greatest show on turf couldn't live up to the hype, as the Patriots showed up and showed out with a 2017 win to secure their first Super Bowl title. In 2003, Manning lost to the Pats again, but in a more respectable fashion, this time with New England just squeaking out the win, thanks to a huge goal line stand in the final minutes of their Week 13 matchup against Indy. But enough with the regular season matchups. The playoffs.
Playoffs?
That's where it really matters. In their 4th matchup, the Sheriff and the Golden Boys squared off in the 2003 AFC Championship with Super Bowl 38 on the line. Manning had been killing it throughout these playoffs, throwing 8 touchdowns with 0 interceptions in wins over Denver and Kansas City, and looked to continue the throwing barrage in snowy Foxborough. And he did just that, throwing all over Gillette. The only problem? He was throwing to the wrong team.
Manning on a roll, throws, and Ty Law picks it off.
Sure, the law is usually on the Sheriff's side, but Peyton, dude, cornerback Ty Law is not on your team.
Heavy rush at all, far sideline, short picked off, Ty Law.
In Super Bowl 38, TB12 went off against the Panthers, completing 32 passes, the most in Super Bowl history, and throwing for 354 yards, the 5th most in Super Bowl history. Sure, the most talked about moment was Justin Timberlake exposing Janet Jackson's stylishly pierced nipple. But with Brady winning his 2nd Super Bowl MVP and then beating the Colts in the 04 season opener,
and Van Dam cannot make.
Boy, he was whooping on Peyton Manning, huh? He was doing Peyton Manning the bad way. I'm talking about, shut up. He was whooping on Peyton Manning. Oh, that's nasty.
At this point, just
can't
like
get a
Janet's
win.
nipple, Peyton Manning looked completely exposed. Now sitting at 0-5 against Brady and the Patriots. Sorry, did we say 5 losses? Let's jump to 6 straight, as the Horseshoes wrapped their season just like it started, with a loss in Foxborough, as Brady tattooed an embarrassing 20-3 playoff loss onto the ample-sized forehead of one Peyton Manning. For Brady, it was back to the Super Bowl. For Manning, it was back to another disappointing offseason, this time with a growing reputation as a playoff choke artist. Brady won his 3rd Lombardi trophy after handing Philadelphia a 41-33 loss in Super Bowl 39. The win put Brady's playoff record at an astonishing 9-0 undefeated streak, a first for any NFL quarterback, and a mark no quarterback will likely ever match. By 2005, Manning was a 2-time league.
Oh, nigga went 9-0. Nigga Tom, I don't know. Maybe Spygate was he?
MVP with a
laser rocket on.
And statistically, the NFL's best quarterback. But heading into their Week 9 matchup against New England, Indy clearly needed a new game plan. And Tony Dungy had just that, believing the key to finally pulling one over Brady and company was to do what Indy hadn't done in any of their previous 6 matchups: score first. Peyton and the Colts stuck to the plan, firing out from the jump with a 48-yard missile to Marvin Harrison before scoring a quick 6. Manning threw for over 300 yards with 3 touchdowns and even scrambled for an 18-yard gain on a critical 3rd down. Manning running for first downs? It was different, but fitting, as the rivalry finally took a different direction, with Peyton snagging his first career win over his arch-rival, 40-21. Now, it was the Colts riding a wave of momentum into their annual showdown with the Pats. Not only were they fresh off their win from last season, but in 2006, Indy rolled in with an undefeated 9-0 record. Manning once again struck first, scrambling to avoid a sack before tossing a 44-yard dart to Marvin Harrison. This set up the first of 2 TDs to Harrison, the second being an incredible one-handed grab to help Indy take the win, 27-20. Brady's performance was not only his worst in the 17-game series with Manning, but his 0 touchdown, 4 interception performance is one of Brady's worst games in his 21-year career. But despite Indy taking 2 in a row, when it came to the playoffs, New England was sitting pretty as the AFC's top seed. Fans assumed the Patriots would rout the Colts in the 2006 AFC title game, especially after taking an early double-digit lead. But the Colts didn't crumble. Instead, the Sheriff threw for 349 yards to erase a 21-3 deficit and engineer the greatest comeback in AFC Championship history, outdueling Brady in a 38-34 win. Finally, it was Manning's turn to step onto sports' grandest stage, punching his ticket to Super Bowl 41 against the Bears in Miami. It was the first Super Bowl played in rainy conditions, but that didn't slow down Chicago's Devin Hester, who took the opening kick 92 yards to the house for the quickest score in Super Bowl history. But playing catch-up was nothing new for Manning and the Colts. Down 14-6 in the first quarter was, as the large Spanish-speaking population in Miami might say, nada. Manning flipped the script and started raining down points to outscore Chicago in the last 3 quarters, 23-3. The Colts were victorious, and just like Brady in his first Super Bowl, Peyton was named the game's MVP. In 2007, it was a battle of the undefeateds, as the 8-0 Patriots locked up with the 7-0 Colts in a game they called the biggest regular season showdown in NFL history. The defending champs beat Brady in the previous 3 matchups, giving Manning a golden opportunity to nudge the rivalry in his favor. But Brady had other plans, including an incredible 55-yard bomb to Randy Moss in the fourth quarter, followed up by a 3-yard TD strike to old reliable Wes Welker to keep the Patriots within 3. You remember Wes Welker, right? The 5'9" Patriots receiver who would later ditch Brady to join Peyton in Denver. But Mr. Dependable is perhaps best known for his string of Depends adult diaper commercials.
So you are all wearing new Depend Real Fit briefs currently?
Yeah, it was almost like silk.
And I hope he was wearing a pair of those diapers in 2007, because Welker very well might have shit his pants with excitement when the scoreboard hit 0-0, as Brady and the Patriots' undefeated streak streaked on, following a 24-20 win over Manning and the Colts. TB12 and the Pats continued their winning ways, finishing up 16-0 and becoming the first team to complete a perfect regular season since the '72 Dolphins. They carried their undefeated streak into Super Bowl 42, where Brady not only competed for a fourth Super Bowl title in 7 years, but looked to become the first quarterback in NFL history to lead his team to a perfect 19-0 record. But standing in the way of perfection, who else but Manning? No, not Peyton Manning,
Eli!
but younger brother Eli Manning.
That crazy.
12-point underdog.
Bro, the fact that Tom was just like facing these Mannings his whole life, bro, having to compete against these niggas.
New York Giants. The low-scoring game featured just one lonely Tom Brady touchdown that put the Pats up late in the fourth, but teed up possibly the most astonishing game-winning drive in Super Bowl history. You know the one.
This ball's thrown, and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down.
Eli's touchdown pass 4 plays later slammed the door on Brady's fourth Lombardi and secured back-to-back Super Bowl wins for the Manning brothers. In 2008, the Brady-Manning game...
I didn't know Peyton won it the year and then Eli won it the next year. That's crazy. NFL scripted, bro. NFL scripted like a motherfucker, man. Ain't no way, man. NFL scripted.
Was put on ice after Brady suffered a devastating knee injury. But in 2009, Brady and Manning were back at it for their 11th head-to-head, featuring a combined 700 yards through the air and 7 touchdowns. The Pats were up by 6 with 2 minutes left, but in a head-scratcher of a call, New England went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 28 and failed to convert, giving Manning a short field to work with in just a one-possession game. The rare Belichick blunder allowed Peyton to sling one to Reggie Wayne for the go-ahead touchdown and complete yet another come-from-behind fourth-quarter victory over New England. The game marked the Colts' 18th consecutive regular season win and a flawless 9-0 on the season, eventually propelling Indy to their second Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Super Bowl 44 was a bit of a car crash for the Colts after giving up an early 10-point lead before falling victim to the Saints' surprise onside kick to start the third quarter.
Onside kick to start the second half, and the ball bounces off the hands of the Colts.
But in 2010, when Manning faced the duo TB and BB, it would be his last as a Colt. And just like the last time they walked into battle, Manning lit up the scoreboard with 396 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. And just like in 2009, the Colts trailed in the fourth, marching downfield with an eye on the end zone. Total deja vu, right? Not this time. Peyton threw a pick with under a minute to go as New England's D dropped the hammer on the 4-time MVP's potential comeback. Following Peyton's 12th season in the league, the tread on the tire of the veteran QB was beginning to show some wear, the most glaring being severe soreness in his neck. Off-season surgery alleviated some of the pain, but by late summer, Manning struggled with his throwing motion. A disappointing MRI made it clear that Peyton needed a spinal fusion, which would keep him off the field for the entire 2011 season. With Manning on the shelf, the Colts went from a 10-6 playoff team to suddenly having an NFL worst 2-14 record that secured the #1 overall pick in the following year's draft. And with a potential generational type quarterback in Andrew Luck sitting at the top of the draft board,
the Indianapolis Colts select
Andrew Luck.
Quarterback, Stanford.
It became obvious to all, Manning's time in Indy was over. In 2012, the greatest player in franchise history jumped from one-horse team to another, leaving the Colts for the Denver Broncos. But before diving back into Brady versus Manning, it's worth mentioning that without Peyton in their way, Brady and the Patriots cruised to their 5th Super Bowl, yet once again lost it to Peyton's brother Eli. And to cement just how much the Manning name continued to plague Brady and the Patriots, Super Bowl 46's biggest play was a clutch throw from Manning to Manningham. You can't make this stuff up. Peyton's first game against Brady as a Bronco fell short of the usual Brady-Manning gold standard game. New England jumped out to a 31-7 lead, but Manning fought back, airing it out for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns, with no signs of lingering effects from a spinal fusion. Yet it still wasn't enough, as Peyton took the L, bringing the series score to Brady 9, Manning 4. Now, the 14th round of the Brady versus Manning saga was an instant classic, and the only one of the 17 to go to overtime. But by halftime, no one was thinking about OT, as Denver hit the locker room up 24-0. The vibe around Gillette was about as comfortable as a Bill Belichick press conference. But in typical Brady fashion, he turned it around in the third with multiple scores, including one to Rob Gronkowski, and suddenly it was 24-21. A costly Manning interception kicked off the fourth, allowing New England to snatch the lead, until Demaryius Thomas pulled in an 11-yard TD pass from Manning to knot it up and head to overtime. A muffed punt by Denver set up New England for a chip shot kick to seal the deal. A culmination of a 344-yard, 3-touchdown performance from Brady to overcome an insane 24-0 deficit. And just 8 weeks later, Brady and Manning were back at it in their third AFC championship with a Super Bowl 48 slot on the line. By now, Manning played Brady enough to realize that the best defense against him was to keep Brady off the field. This meant Denver coming in with long, meticulous drives, which Manning orchestrated to perfection. Peyton dialed down the no-huddle Omaha, hurry-up offense that helped him scorch the NFL record book for most touchdowns and yards during the 2013 season. Instead, Peyton led a pair of long 93 and 80-yard touchdown drives, each lasting more than 7 minutes. All part of a game plan that saw Peyton's offense hold the ball for over half the contest. And it worked, with Peyton's Broncos outplaying and outsmarting Brady's Patriots squad 26-16. But Super Bowl 48 against the Seahawks would not be one for the Manning family scrapbook. On Denver's very first play, Broncos center Manny Ramirez snapped the ball before Peyton was ready. The ball flew into the end zone for a safety, giving Seattle an early 2-point lead. Seattle's score just 12 seconds in was the quickest in Super Bowl history, surpassing Devin Hester's kickoff return 7 years earlier. But unlike 2006, Peyton could not overcome the early score, as Denver was blown out 43-8. In Game 16 of their series, Peyton was serenaded by the Patriot faithful with chants of "Brady's better" for pretty much the entire game. But in this one, they were right. Brady threw 4 TDs to beat the Colts 43-21. Despite his 400-yard-plus day, Manning admitted during the postgame, quote, "I don't usually stink, but I
stopped today."
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself, brother. It's not like Tom and company went on to Super Bowl 49 and beat the same Seahawks team that crushed you in last year's Super Bowl.
Bro, they didn't beat him, bro. Seahawks gave him that ring, bro. Seahawks gave it to him. Like, y'all want this? Seahawks basically was like, y'all want it? Y'all have it. Pete Carroll, boy.
Landing Tom his 4th Super Bowl title compared to your solo title, right? Actually, that's exactly what happened.
Once again, the Patriots are world champions.
Manning stewed for nearly a year until revenge was in the now 5-time MVP's sights. It would be Brady and Manning's final showdown, fittingly in yet another AFC Championship game. Manning was the star of the game's most unique play, a third-quarter scramble for a first down that Manning dubbed "the run," in air quotes, might be the most celebrated scramble by a Denver quarterback since John Elway's helicopter ride in Super Bowl 32, 18 years earlier. Peyton's 17-for-32 performance was far from vintage Manning, but his 2 most important completions went for touchdowns, enough to beat Brady and the Patriots 20-18. Even in the loss, Brady's record against Manning stood supreme at 11-6. But Peyton won out in AFC Championship matchups with a 3-1 record against TB12. In Super Bowl 50, both Denver and Indianapolis fans, and even Tom Brady, hoped to see a storybook finale for Manning, and they got it, with Peyton winning his 2nd Lombardi trophy in his final NFL game. Now that you know everything about Brady versus Manning, you can decide which quarterback is the true winner. Though choosing a winner is relative, considering when it was all said and done, there were 8 MVPs, 9 Super Bowls, and 6 Super Bowl MVPs.
Damn, Brady got 5 more rings than him. And he got 2 more MVPs.
Between the two. And speaking of winners, check out more content from Blitz, where every video is a winner.
I think obviously Tom Brady won that matchup, but when it was time, 3-1 AFC Championship games, I mean, hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think, though. Let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. But look, man, y'all already know what to do, man. On the road to 10K. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel.